Technical. Perfect. Cool. So thanks for joining, everyone. I guess the idea of these sessions is really just to get everyone in the room together, a forum to talk about stuff like best practice, what's been working with DueDil for yourselves, and share ideas really on some other areas that you potentially be getting out of DueDil as well. So in terms of a rough agenda for today, so we'll just go through some quick introductions. I'll run through some DueDil product updates, what we've been working on this year, and also what's to come, which is probably going to be relevant to everyone in the room as well. So it'd be awesome to get some feedback on what we've been working on. We're also joined by Joshua Perry from Layton. He's going to give us his story on how he's been growing or scaling high growth teams in the UK and how they leverage data and stuff like that as well. So good opportunity to see how others are using DueDil to help with their go-to-market and help with their strategy. After that, we can break out into a session. So we've got the task, which is on the table, so we can run through some live scenarios. We've also got the whole DueDil team here on hand as well to help. So if you've got any questions or not sure about anything, just feel free to grab one of us and go through it live. And then, of course, we've got, I think at about 5 o'clock, we've got some pizza coming in and beers in the fridge. Does that sound good to everyone? Yeah. Great. So a quick update, I guess, team-wise. So us as a team have come a long way in the last year. So there's been quite a number of changes at DueDil. So this time last year, in the customer success team especially, sitting with us here now, there's only 2 members. As a business, we identified the need for customer support as a key sort of initiative for us moving forward. So in the past year, we have grown our team out to a team of now 5 strong dedicated customer success managers and also full-time support for everyone as well. So we've had big changes to our team. Understand that customer support is a very important part of what we do. So, well, I guess full house of support available to help with any questions that you have, and just make sure that you're getting understand the platform forward essentially. Product-wise, in terms of what we've been working on, so one of our main updates this year and what we've been putting a lot of work into is our keywords, which I guess is a proprietary sort of feature to our platform. So we've been putting the development team have been putting a lot of work into updating and improving keywords, which I'm sure most people in this room have used quite significantly before. So in the past, what we're finding is, although keywords are great, there was still quite a bit of noise in some of the keywords that we've been. So what we've done is put in quite a bit of work to narrow down those keywords, make them a lot more accurate. So as part of that, what we took a look at was the websites that we're matching against, and we wanted to make sure that they were as close to accurate as we could get. So as a result of that, when you're now viewing a company profile in DueDil, and you see a website, we're 95% sure that that should be correct. So 95% of the websites now on DueDil should be correct. As a result of that, there's going to be less keywords, but they're going to be a lot more accurate. So when you're doing keyword searches to map out different industries in market, you might find that less results are coming through. But what you should find is that the actual activity of those businesses in line with those keywords is more aligned. So hopefully that will just help hone go-to-market approach. So on the right here, we've got an example of what keywords used to look like and I guess what they look like now. So this is just an example of a construction company. You can see there's a bit of noise in here, stuff like design company, blue chip. They didn't really make that much sense. They weren't as relevant as they should be. This is an example of new keywords in action. So it's an agriculture company. You can see here all the keywords are quite spot on in terms of you can take a look at them and you know that the agriculture industry now.
If you were on DueDil a couple of weeks ago, you may have seen a little pop-up from the team explaining kind of what was well. So we're super excited to announce that with customer reminders when we're asked by our customers to improve. So sorry.
Any questions on that at all? Brilliant. So another sort of big feature or big product that we've been working on as well is DataWorks, which we've heard about over the last few months. So we're currently going through beta phase for DataWorks. The whole idea is behind DataWorks is giving you, on top of the matcher that we already had, just giving you a more enhanced way to, I guess, enhance your CRM with our data and leverage our matching technology just to help with that cleaning piece. So essentially, some of the key sort of things coming out of DataWorks we're finding is giving our customers an easy way to identify duplicates from the CRM, get rid of the noise that's in their CRM, and really just turn your CRM into a strategic asset. So with that, with the new DataWorks matcher, it brings in the ability to sort of link whatever entity you have in your CRM. I guess at the moment you can't really get a fuzzy match on that if you've got the names typed in slightly wrong or you don't have stuff like that. So we're trying to get a way around that. So you can lower the thresholds manually to just speed up that process of matching through DataWorks and then pull through the enriched information onto your spreadsheet into your CRM. That's the idea. As well as that, you can expand out your view of these companies as well. So you can bring through group information of where they sit within the group structure as well. So you can bring in, domestic parents, international parents, and stuff like that. So it's essentially painting the broader picture of your customer base or your prospect base and having more enriched information to help you lead more conversation, essentially. So yeah, we're currently going through beta testing for that at the moment. That's still open for if anyone is interested in testing it out. I'll communicate a link after this to give it a spin as well. Cool. So in terms of what else we're working on in 2019. So this is quite a cool feature, especially for sales and marketing, just to help with keeping on top of your prospect base and keeping on top of your market. So what we're calling is DueDil signals. So essentially what every business is different in terms of who their ideal customers are, how they segment their markets, maybe always a difference between the market and enterprises, but everyone has different rules in terms of what influences those different criteria. So what Signals is going to enable you to do is essentially put your own rules into DueDil, save them, and then set up a type of alert functionality. So at the moment we've got some emojis here. So what this is going to lead to, essentially it's just a great way to scale your go-to-market approach. Because let's say you put your rules in for, let's say, enterprise is 1,000 employees plus, and they're a really good fit for us within growing 5% growing. Put that in as a rule and assign a signal to it. Then as you're searching, let's just say you've done a very broad search for software companies as an example. What you'll see in line is how many of your signals or metrics that those companies reach. So just an easy way to, I guess, find the needle in the haystack again, sometimes it can be like, or just to help prioritize your lead base again, and find the customers that you think are the prospects that you products and services. As well as, I guess, displaying inline in the advanced search, you'll also, every time you do a company profile, you'll be inverted at the top of the company profile page of whether they fit within one of your designated criteria as well. We've also got our awesome product team here today who are going to be testing that out. So if anyone's keen to give that a try today as well, we're definitely keen to get feedback. Well. Cool. So any questions on, I guess, what we've been working on this year, what's coming up in the future at all, guys?
One of the programs I didn't test up in terms of the industry keywords from the bench.
Yeah, good question. So with that, so that will be part of DataWorks. So that's one thing that I probably missed actually. So yeah, as part of DataWorks, and I'll send through the link for everyone so they can put it into the full function suite. But no, yes, so you will be able to explore all the keywords, as well as that you'll also be able to explore everything that you couldn't in the past, all the KPIs and ratios that we calculate as well. So stuff like day sales outstanding, sort of, I guess, unique metrics that we calculate. You'll be able to essentially expand these to be specific. Any other questions at all, guys? Perfect. Cool. Awesome. So I'll hand over to Faye, who.
Hey guys, so just another kind of upcoming release from DueDil as well. Something coming a little bit later this year, hopefully looking into H1, but definitely into 2019, is the new DueDil community. So we, as Rupert said at the very beginning of the talk, our customers are at the forefront of everything but DueDil, and we kind of over the years realised that all of our customers have more in common than just using DueDil, and they wanted somewhere where they could collaborate together, share ideas, and have a platform that they could really kind of focus that attention to. So we listened to our customers, and now we've started to build a new and improved DueDil community for you. And Emma's going to tell you what you can expect to see as well.
Yeah, so in terms of what you can expect from DueDil community, bit of a tricky one because ultimately it's a user-generated platform, so you very much define what you're thinking on there. And I think that's the real beauty of it. So perhaps you've got a question that's really critical to part of your strategy, or perhaps you're looking into vendor selection of what the criteria might be around CRMs, that kind of thing. You can ask these questions to the broader community about to your peers at DueDil. And this isn't just limited to your peers across sales and marketing. It goes much further beyond that too. So it's really a very sort of broad audience and to ask these questions too. It's not only about asking questions though. You can look to perhaps share parts of your strategy that you're proud of. Perhaps you notice something in the industry that's particularly relevant that you wanted to share with you as well and understand how that might be impacting people too. So yeah, it's really quite a sort of broad area that you can look to address across many different topics, and we're really excited to see what you guys might start to do in the coming months. Brilliant.
So we've got a workshop exclusive for you guys. We're going to show you where we're at now. Not finished yet. We're working with the product team as well to help design this and get ready for launch, but we wanted to got a room for our customers, so why not use something to show you what we've got so far and gather some feedback as to what you can expect from there as well. We're also going to show you where you can find it. So I'm going to log off quickly and come on to DueDil. So all you have to do is click on your name in the top right corner, and then we have this community button here. And this is what the community is going to look like. If you click on it now, you won't be able to see this because we're not launched, but this is the community as it stands now. What do you guys think? Any initial thoughts or excited? Anything that would jump out to you?
We loaded any dummy content?
We have some initial content, but just to kind of show what it would look like. But we don't have any full posts yet. We've got another quick question of what do you think?
I think the important thing to highlight about the community is, whilst it is a DueDil community, you're not just limited to talking about DueDil. And of course, if you DueDil on there and head loads of compliments, that'd be great. But at the same time, it is much broader than that. So whilst you might want to talk about, product-related things, how do you do this, or who's going around this with that and that kind of thing. At the same time, it is important, so your stories could focus around DueDil itself, or something that DueDil has enabled you to do in the bigger picture, not just on a tactical level.
Cool. That is just a small exclusive of what the community is going to look like, so stay tuned for some content out to your email addresses for when we're ready to get launched with that. But so we're looking towards launching in Q2. That's our guideline. Yeah, we just kind of wanted to get some feedback. As I said, the community is about you. It's going to be content driven by you. It's been made for you. So yeah, we just wanted to kind of get some feedback on you, and we'll all be around the room later today as well. So if anyone's got any feedback, if you like what you saw, let us know. If you didn't, let us know as well. We want to make this a process with you guys as well. Yeah. We're going to move on to our guest speaker from Josh.
Can we skip the presentation? Right?
Yes.
Hi guys, my name's Josh Perry. As the slide I'm standing in front of terribly will tell you, I work for a company called Leyton UK. We're Europe's now largest innovation funding incentives consultancy. We do a few other bits as well, which I'll talk about. My particular role of mine is I head up the Manchester office and also the sales development function for the company, which is the appointment setting graduates come through from there. Next slide. I'd like to talk about a few bits. Obviously, I think a bit of context to our Layton would be useful, so we can hopefully, if anyone in the room that might be interested, or my colleagues would like to chat to you about what we do as well. Hopefully, there's some interesting bits for you. My journey at Layton, which obviously being remotely humble, but I think it's quite a nice one. I started as a grad and I sort of worked my way through and managed to convince the CEO to give me an office at one point. So I thought you might be interested to work out how do you dupe that. Our journey as well as a company, again, I think it's quite a nice success story, and we've had a lot of pains getting a lot of rapid growth in quickly, and I thought when we talk about some of the lessons we learned and some of the mutual bits which you'll be going through as well, our approach to people, our approach to data, and then questions as well. Layton is a French company, started by two guys fresh out of university, Francois and Olivier. And what I quite like about their stories is two university mates coming out and working out how do we start a company and basically make some money. And unlike, I said, like Mark Zuckerberg, or when you see someone and they go, Jesus, I was never capable of coming up with an idea like that, the guy's a genius. With these guys, although they're clearly very switched on, driven entrepreneurial people, they saw an existing company in France, and they're like, that's really good. We reckon we could do that a bit better. And basically, started a company doing the same thing as something called Alma. And they just quickly did it better, created a better working culture, and managed it slightly better, and then quickly overtook them. To the point where now, although I think we're headcount-wise very similar, profitability-wise, we do that 10 times that, like the same people. So I think it's not quite as exciting as that genius eureka moment where someone creates an app and the world's changed. Actually, two hard-working guys that prioritise culture and management over the products, which is quite important, I think it's something that we can learn from, and it's something that I actually quite like about Layton. What's a bit different about us? We're the only company in the UK, or I think in Europe now, that has a 100% success rate with the innovation funding incentives we get on behalf of our clients. Almost everyone's lost their track record now. I think we're the sole one standing, which is quite nice for our salespeople. That's pretty much it. Some key numbers there, but I suspect you can read that one. So this is quite nice. The reason I like this, so I've been at Layton for 7 years. When I started, it was just London, and I think 3 or 4 in Paris, and we had Canada, one office in Canada. We've got a second one opening, which we'll do shortly. The this map gets updated every 3 or 4 months now. We're opening about 3 or 4 countries a year at the moment. Most recently, we had Poland, which was opening, but we've done like 2 in Italy in the last 2 years. Spain wasn't, we didn't have Spain at all when I joined, and now we've got 3. Morocco was actually there, but it's so nice for our people as well to see a company that's visibly expanding. I think when your company's profitable and the revenue's going up, that's great, but actually for perhaps more junior people in the business, it's not that exciting. But when you see more people coming in, and wow, did you hear we're now in Italy? Did you hear we're now in Spain? That's a really good, as a management tool for us, it's really useful. It's a symptom of how successful actually we do kind of know what we're doing and what's going on, but also the career development opportunities that we can promise people and hopefully fulfill on because of the growth we're experiencing. It's really good. And I think it's exciting. I'm sure if I ever do this again, there'll be 2 or 3 more on there. In fact, I can see ones that aren't on there that should be. Next slide. So what do we do? The main one, which a lot of you in the room may have heard of, R&D tax relief and credits. It's probably one of the biggest uptake HMRC incentives in the UK now. The punchline is if you're doing something cool and you're employing people in the UK to do it, the government will give you roughly 30% of their salaries back in the form of tax credit or relief from your corporation tax. Rationale being, if the UK is having jobs created for clever people and staying in the UK, obviously the job creation is great. I mean, HMRC, the reason they like this, companies get the money back, and they don't tend to, the boss doesn't spend it on a Ferrari, they tend to hire more people, buy more computers, outgrow or grow their office, these things. And HMRC estimate that every £1 they pay out, £3 comes back into the economy. So one of the questions we get when we recruit is, what happens if HMRC pull the plug on this? We're like it would be career suicide for whichever Chancellor of the Exchequer or whoever it may be made that decision. It's also, what's quite nice for us is it's sort of bipartisan, introduced by the Labour government and then more generous by Conservative government. And it's been through 2 general elections since, the parties flipping and still there. And with Brexit as well, it's been an innovation in the European grant funding for innovation in the UK has been a hot thing we've been talking about. And Theresa May and pretty much everyone is talking about increasing in the UK because there's so much instability rather, around, I think there's stories like Toyota creating, there's a plant in Sunderland which they were going to create a car in, which is now going back to Japan, for instance, because of the uncertainty. So the UK government is so keen to maintain these jobs for really clever, ambitious people in the UK. They're making the scheme much more generous. So certainly, if you're not looking into it, it's certainly worth doing if you're doing anything new and novel. It doesn't have to be first time in the UK you're doing it. If it's new to your business, it's certainly worth a conversation with someone like us, hopefully us. R&D grants, again, this will be becoming more UK-centric. At the moment, the scheme is very political. So it's assessed at a European level, and the board that assesses these things changes on a regular basis. And quite often, if there happens to be someone from Belgium on the board, and Belgium hasn't had a grant in a while, companies from those places will get, but they're more likely to get the system, also get the money out of the system. And it's incredibly laborious, and you have like a sub 0.7% chance of getting the money out of it. So actually, that kind of more UK-centric actually probably should be a good thing for the UK Innovation Committee. Patent box, you can reduce your corporation tax if you have any registered IP in the UK with the UK Intellectual Property Office or the European Property Office. 10% corporation tax on any revenue or profits which come from patented products or a product which is made through a patent process. Capital advice, if you want £1 to £5 million on the goes in equity, let me know. That's quite a narrow one. And another big one for us is employment law services. So this is a service we recently introduced and we registered as a law firm quite recently. And it was driven out of our client-based feedback that a lot of companies do really cool things, which means that they explode people-wise from 20 to 50 to 60 to 80 people quickly. And then HR becomes a thing. If you go from that close-knit family environment to actually having employees which tend to be perhaps a bit more transactional in their approach to work. And it's the first time you start having problems with people. And it's, who do I ring? Do I pay a lawyer £300, £400 an hour? That sounds expensive. My HR consultant's perhaps far cheaper, but actually I'm getting advice, which means that I'll be employing people that perhaps I don't want to employ for far longer than I want to, in a sense wise. So we're trying to solve that problem for our clients, and it's something we're very good at. Next. So my journey is hard to do this whilst maintaining any sort of sense of being humble, whilst also giving enough to make it sound like I'm worth listening to. So I think what's quite nice about it is I started on the phone in 2012. So Layton, always from the beginning, it's grown massively, but sort of giving graduates a chance. And if you display the right work ethic and attitudes, they're really best training. And that's just gone from strength to strength since. Then the sales role, face-to-face, so the natural progression from phones to face-to-face is the sales team, that's the natural step. And then we then had the self-development team, or telesales as we call it at the time. The manager left. He was awful. He was my predecessor. It's always nice when your predecessor wasn't very good because he was awesome. He left, and we had 6 people. And we basically then started to shift toward more of a grad scheme kind of model. So we changed the structure of the team so that people rotated desks, a bit like a law firm. Obviously, you have to have like 4 seats and rotate around every 6 months. So it's still all sales, but we do sort of software engineering, science. So grads, they're learning new IP, getting new managers. So if you get a manager you don't like for whatever reason, you're not there forever going, Jesus, what am I doing under this person? And lots of training and interaction with our consultancy teams, people with PhDs in all sorts of software and engineering and sciencey backgrounds. So the guys learned a lot. 2017 we cleared 50 staff, and this one is one I'm most proud of, convincing someone to give me my own office in Manchester. I'm still smiling about that one. It's something where I think it's a nice sign for someone with my experience to be trusted to set up a new business in the city. It's amazing. I think it says a lot about the culture of our senior management or C-level guys that are willing to give people a chance to get the right attitude and the right results behind you. Our journey, so this was meant to be a really pretty line, zigzagging key achievements, and nice to look at. Unfortunately, I'm a bit lastminute.com, and I gave this to marketing 2 days ago to flip back to me, and got told to, well, I got told back. So, I mean, key numbers here, I mean, I think it's, again, I think the growth's worth talking about. From 2009, 3 people, we're now 260, which obviously 10 years, a lot of growth. But the main thing is the last 4 years, going from 55 to 260. I mean, don't get me wrong, this wasn't necessarily easy, but you're doing sort of 10, 15 people jumps, which you can kind of do in 2 or 3 months of great recruitment if you get the processes sorted. But this is like 2016 was when so we really sort of started to crank the needle. There's an expression there somewhere. Crank it up. Let's go crank it up. And the amount of recruitment, I mean, it's sort of been non-stop since really. We had a challenge recently, 300 people in 300 days across Europe, which we did in, well, I think about 100 days to spare. And it's been a really interesting journey, hiring that amount of people, and the journey going from this being in a tiny office in Hammersmith, where everyone knew each other's name, everyone knew what football team everyone supported, everyone knew wife's name, husband's name, all this sort of stuff. And then the emotional journey you go on, where you start to lose that, and you feel like you're losing your identity and perhaps some of the fun that's in the office. And then you come out the other side where actually you make that journey to a medium-sized entity, and then you start realising you need structures like I mentioned, like an HR function, for instance, or what would be a good idea in marketing, or something we didn't have up until about then. So it's been a really interesting journey, and happy to talk about any questions later. And there's certainly been some painful bits along the way. Key things, we opened Glasgow in 2014, so I can now speak Glasgow if anyone's interested. New London office we upgraded, bigger space. We upgraded Glasgow as well, so we're now right on St George's Square, which is sort of prime real estate in Glasgow, and Manchester as well, which we're bang in the centre there. About 20 people there. So I thought it might be worth talking about graduates. So we have about 80, 85 grads in our business now. So most of these are 0 to 6 months experience, normally first job or maybe second job. And we basically built our company on hiring grads, retaining them and training them and progressing them through. And what's worked really well for us is the stick rate. When someone progresses through your business, they don't tend to leave after 2 years. Okay, thank you, bye, I'll take £5 more somewhere else for the same job, or a senior in my title. They tend to really buy into actually what it is that we're doing. And we found that trying to hire, particularly in sales, the sort of 4 to 5 years experience, the guys that should be plug and play, we found that a real challenge, because they come in and they wouldn't get the culture and bounce out quite quickly, or being financial services is quite a niche thing, it's not as common about software as a solution to sell. Product wasn't sticking, and we found it really painful for a number of years, but progressing people through and having this sort of academy attitude towards graduates, that the appointment setting and then moving on and moving up, has made a huge difference to our business. I think this year we'll turn over, new business will do about 32 to 35 million or something like that. Over 20 of that will come from people that started on the phone less than 3 years ago. So over half our sales team is made up of these people, and also they're the top performers. I mean, of our 15 top billers, 12 were on the phone less than 3 years ago, and they're beating guys with 10 years experience on them. So it's something that's really good for our culture. Not everyone makes it. I say we don't have a strict 20% rule that we sort of say, these guys get extra above the line, you're below. Like, if everyone does the numbers, everyone progresses. But typically, I'd say the top 20% are the ones that make it to management or a client-facing role within the first sort of year, 18 months. And the key thing is the cultural point, where with the shift, I think, towards from millennial to sort of Gen Z, is we fully embrace that, and the whole, I think, almost the Instagram culture that we have now is working rather than fighting against that. And I've had some colleagues that perhaps they don't get it. Why is it everyone wants to take a photo of everything? Why is it everyone has to share the top 5% of their life to make it look like they're living the dream? When everyone kind of, everyone has shit days, wasn't going to talk about that. But we fully embrace that. All the incentives are designed to, take the guys to, whether it's a restaurant they wouldn't normally go to, or something that's going to basically look good to their friends on Instagram. Things like that. Something we think about and ask the guys, what would you want to do, so we can motivate them and give them, even things like days out of the office to shadow what senior people to meetings, things like that, so that when they go home, they'll have a weekly catch up with mum and dad, or they're down the pub with their friends saying what they did at work this week. It's actually, I went to meet XYZ client, and they can talk about the nice things they've done in the week, which perhaps someone their age or their experience of what another company wouldn't get to do. So that the narrative and the job satisfaction that they present and hopefully have is far higher than perhaps other people. Another thing we did is punctuate progression as well. Usually come in 2 years, that's all you get. And we realised after 6 months, 21, 22, 23-year-old, they're knocking on the door saying, I've done well. I've turned up to work every day on time, and I've hit my target once, where's my promotion? So what we've done is punctuate the progression. So we have you start off as a commercial exec, and then within 3 to 6 months, if you really do well, you can get promotions, £2,000-3,000 pay rise, and a bit more bonuses for the sales roles. But it allows people to be on a promotion plan within month 1, month 2, which gives them that real focus and drive, and better for retention as well, obviously. And then once they're there, we then have a mentor-mentee program, where if they do other targets, they can you get a mentor, one of the guys who's been on this journey before, and they will show you the ropes and help to guide you through the progression to the client-facing roles, so that then get the HRIP and stuff like that, so that within a year, 18 months, quite often they've had 2 or 3 promotions that aren't that expensive to us, quite frankly, but really allow them to tell mum, dad, friends, also for the CV, I've been at the company and I've already been at the company 1 year and been promoted 2 times, 3 times, and it's really nice feeling for them. I think that's mostly it. Yeah. So data, given that we're at DueDil, it seems like it would be mean of me to not speak about them. But sincerely, DueDil, we started working with DueDil, I think 2014 or something. And to be frank, I never used to take data that seriously as part of my management job. I saw it as, I was entirely people focused. I was like, if my people are happy, the team are before, which is obviously very true. But we realised we started getting better at what we did in the market. Became more saturated and tougher to differentiate ourselves and identify prospects, is that we had huge problems with people chasing the same prospects, or people didn't know what a good client looked like beforehand, or everyone thought that we have a market of probably about 200,000 for our service, and we had 80% of our sales team chasing the top 10% of it, or not the top 10%, the same 10%. They're all looking for the same companies. So what we've done with DueDil, and I think lead scoring is something that I think was quite a smiley faces thing I saw. We're building or built an algorithm based on the DueDil keywords. And it was a bit of an AI really, and what it will do is look at the keywords and then match those keywords against our existing client set, we're about 8,000 clients now, and pick out what each keyword is worth to us invoicing wise. And then we can look at the amount of employees which we get from a phone call or from DueDil or from other sources, as well as we have other factors like year end and location as well. And basically we can predict within about 20% accuracy what that company would be worth to us. So A, is it in target for service, yes or no, there's any good keywords. If it is in target, is it science engineering software, so it allows me to give out the leads to the right teams. Once in the right team, what's it worth? Is it 0 to 5, 10? Is it 6 to 10? Is it 10k plus? And what that allows me to do is allow it to the right team, but also the right people as well. You don't want someone in their first week calling you with 10,000 plus opportunities. Conversely, you don't want the best salespeople chasing leads, which are going to motivate them and they're far over qualified to close. So that's something we're actually haven't quite finished yet. We're about 70% accuracy at the moment. So something that we're working with the DueDil tech team to bring in, which hopefully should make prospecting much easier for our salespeople. Other key things, just knowing who our top 2,000 prospects are as well, which DueDil's helped us to do, and making sure they're always, we're always in contact with them one way or another, even if it's just a check-in every 3 months, and we don't drop the ball on those needle-moving clients for us. I think that's pretty much it.
So anyone who uses the financial year-end filter can thank Josh.
Yeah, so that's there because of me. You nag long enough.
Yeah, on the back of his request. Always looking for.
And that was pretty much it. I've tried to be relatively light-ish as I've been on the receiving end, and that was particularly interesting. So, any questions? Sit back down, Josh. Very nice.